2025 HealthProLife. All rights reserved. Dean Shah. Essential Steps for Well-Being and Longevity. Acknowledgement. Writing this book has been a deeply personal and transformative journey. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has supported, inspired, and believed in this mission to share the path to greater well-being and lasting vitality. To my HealthProLife community, your stories, feedback, and unwavering commitment to living healthier lives continue to inspire me every single day. You are the reason this book exists. To my family and close friends, thank you for your patience, encouragement, and for always reminding me to practice what I preach. Your love has been the foundation of my strength and clarity. To the researchers, wellness pioneers, and timeless teachers whose wisdom and findings have shaped the foundation of this book, your work lights the way for us all. Above all, thank you to every reader who picks up this book with the desire to live a fuller, more intentional life. May the steps within serve as your compass toward lasting health, balance, and purpose. Introduction. In a world that moves faster than ever, where stress, poor habits, and disconnection have become the norm, the true essence of well-being and longevity is often lost in the noise. We chase temporary fixes, overlook simple truths, and forget that our greatest wealth is our health, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Essential Steps for Well-Being and Longevity is not just a guide, it is a return to what truly matters. This book was born from my own personal journey and the invaluable lessons I've gained through years of exploration, research, and reflection. Through my work with the HealthProLife community, I've seen firsthand the transformation that occurs when people take small, intentional steps toward a healthier, more meaningful life. You don't need extreme routines, expensive treatments, or overwhelming regimens. What you need is a clear path, rooted in timeless wisdom, supported by science, and shaped by lived experience. This book offers that path. Each chapter is designed to be practical, easy to understand, and applicable to your daily life. From nutrition and movement to mindfulness and emotional resilience, you'll find simple but powerful habits that, when practiced consistently, can radically improve your well-being and extend your life, not just in years, but in quality. This is your invitation to pause, realign, and begin again, with clarity, intention, and strength. You only have one life. Cherish it, nourish it, live it fully. Let's begin. True well-being isn't just the absence of illness, it's the presence of purpose, clarity, and peace in every breath you take. Chapter 1. The Wake-Up Call. Why Most People Drift Through Life. Take a moment and reflect. Are you truly living your life, or merely existing through it? In today's fast-paced world, many people are running on autopilot. Caught up in routines, obligations, and digital distractions, they move through the motions, waking up tired, rushing to work, reacting to stress, and ending the day drained, only to repeat it all again tomorrow. Weeks become months, months turn into years, and before they realize it, life has passed them by. This isn't just about being busy. It's about being disconnected. Disconnected from purpose, disconnected from passion, disconnected from themselves. Most people are not lazy. They are simply overwhelmed. They want better health, deeper relationships, financial freedom, peace of mind, but they don't know how to get there. So they drift. The cost of drifting. Drifting doesn't always feel bad in the moment. It feels comfortable, familiar, and safe. But over time, it leads to quiet dissatisfaction. You may feel stuck, numb, or unfulfilled. Not because life is lacking, but because you've stopped showing up for it with intention. There is a cost to ignoring your well-being, a cost to silencing your intuition, a cost to living a life that doesn't align with who you truly are. And the longer you delay course correction, the greater the cost becomes, not just in health, but in lost years, lost joy, and lost potential. As the saying goes, discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. The moment everything changes, the wake-up call can come in many forms. a health scare, a broken relationship, a job loss, or sometimes just a lingering sense that there must be more than this. When that moment comes, it's not a punishment, it's a gift. It's life tapping you on the shoulder, whispering you were made for more. That's where your transformation begins. This book is your invitation to stop drifting and start designing your life, not by chasing perfection, but by taking simple, essential steps with intention and awareness. Why self-awareness is the first step. You cannot change what you are unaware of. That's why the first and most powerful step toward well-being and longevity is self-awareness. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. What do you value? Where are you now in your life compared to where you want to be? Consider which habits are helping you move forward and which are silently holding you back. Ask yourself whether you are living life on your terms or merely reacting to everything around you. These questions are not always easy, but they are necessary, because the greatest danger in life is not failure. It's success at the wrong things. It's climbing the ladder of life, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Choosing to wake up. Waking up is a conscious choice. It's the moment you decide that you want to live with meaning, not just momentum. You want to be present, not passive. You want to create, not just consume. When you wake up to your life, you begin to reclaim your power. You realize that your health is not just a biological process. It's a reflection of your priorities. That longevity is not about adding years to your life, but life to your years. That prosperity isn't just about money, but about living a life rich in purpose, peace, and vitality. One life. Make it count. You only get one life, and no matter your past, you can choose differently today. You can choose clarity over confusion, discipline over drift, vision over vagueness. The steps in this book are not complicated. They are essential, because they help you return to the truth of who you are and the life you were meant to live. So before we dive into the how, pause, reflect, reconnect. This is your wake-up call. Let's answer it. Chapter 2. Vision with Purpose, Crafting a Life Worth Living. Most people don't lack time, they lack direction. Without a clear vision, life becomes a reaction. You wake up and go through the motions. You work, eat, scroll, sleep, repeat. Days blur into weeks, and years pass without a real sense of meaning. You might be busy, but are you fulfilled? You might be surviving, but are you truly living? A life without vision is like a ship without a compass. It may float, it may move, but it will never arrive at the shores of purpose. This chapter is about finding that compass, your why. It's about turning your attention inward and asking one of life's most powerful questions. What kind of life do I want to create, and why does it matter to me? The power of vision. A clear vision gives your life structure and soul. It provides meaning to your mornings and motivation to your habits. When you have a vision, you stop asking, "What should I do today?" and start asking, "What moves me closer to who I want to become?" Purposeful vision is not about setting vague goals like "I want to be rich," "I want to be fit," or "I want to be happy." It's about defining what those goals mean to you, deeply, personally, and authentically. It's saying, "I want to be financially free so I can spend more time with my family. I want to be healthy because I've seen what poor health does to those I love. I want to be happy, not by chasing pleasure, but by living in alignment with my values." Vision gives your choices weight. It turns ordinary actions into meaningful steps. A 30-minute walk becomes a promise to your future self. Preparing a healthy meal becomes an act of self-respect. Going to bed early becomes an investment in clarity, energy, and longevity. Why most people don't have a vision. Many people never create a vision for their lives, not because they don't care, but because they're never taught how. School teaches us how to pass tests, but not how to live with intention. Society tells us what to chase, but rarely tells us to stop and ask why. Some people avoid creating a vision because they fear failure. What if I dream big and it doesn't happen? But the real fear should be the opposite. What if you never even try? A mediocre life rarely comes from aiming too high and missing. It comes from aiming too low and hitting, crafting your vision. You don't need to know every detail of the next 30 years, but you do need a direction, a compelling picture of what a fulfilling, healthy, purpose-driven life looks like to you. Here's how to begin. Start by imagining your ideal day, not your ideal vacation, but your ideal daily life. Where are you? What do you do when you wake up? What kind of work fulfills you? How do you care for your body, your mind, and your relationships? How do you contribute to the world around you? Write it down, visualize it often, refine it over time. Then ask yourself, what small, consistent steps can I take today to move toward that vision? You don't need a complete plan, just a direction and the courage to begin. Purpose gives you energy. When you wake up with a purpose, life feels different. Your energy changes. You feel more alive, even when the path is difficult. Purpose isn't about constant happiness, it's about fulfillment. And fulfillment is found in doing what aligns with your heart, even when it's hard. When you have a vision, setbacks become stepping stones, not dead ends. You don't quit when life gets tough, you adapt. Because the purpose pulls you forward. Design the life you want. You were not born to drift. You were born to design. You were not meant to simply react. You were meant to create. Every great life starts with a clear and courageous vision, crafted not by accident, but with intention. You don't have to live the life others expect of you. You have the power to create your own. So ask yourself now, and ask often, what kind of life do I want to live? What legacy do I want to leave behind? What does a life of true well-being and longevity look like for me? Once you know your why, everything else begins to align. Let your vision be your compass. Let your purpose be your fuel. And let today be the first step toward the life you were meant to live. Chapter 3 Milestone Goals break big dreams into achievable steps. A powerful vision without a plan is like a map without a path. You may have the clearest idea of the life you want to live, vibrant health, emotional peace, fulfilling relationships, financial freedom, but without actionable goals to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be, that vision can remain just that, a dream. That's where milestone goals come in. They are not about pressure. They are about progress. They help you translate the big picture into small, manageable, and realistic steps, so you can move forward without being overwhelmed. Because the truth is, most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they don't break the journey down. They try to leap mountains when they should be climbing steady steps. The psychology of progress. When you set and reach small goals, your brain receives a reward, a small dopamine hit. This creates momentum. It builds confidence. It shows you that success is not reserved for lucky or disciplined people. It's available to anyone willing to take one step at a time. Small wins compound. One healthy meal becomes a week of clean eating. One day of walking becomes a habit. One mindful morning becomes a life lived with greater presence. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You need to begin, build, and believe. Turning vision into structure. Let's say your vision is to live a long, energized, and meaningful life. You imagine waking up early, feeling strong, thinking clearly, and being deeply connected to those around you. Now, how do you get there? Instead of setting vague goals like I want to be healthy, you start by identifying specific habits that align with your vision. You might decide to walk for 20 minutes a day, drink more water, meditate each morning, or get to bed earlier. These may seem small, but they are intentional, clear, and measurable actions. They create a rhythm of success and structure your day around your future. Once these habits become consistent, you build on them. They serve as stepping stones, strengthening your mindset and reinforcing the person you're becoming. The smart way to set milestones. One helpful method to guide goal setting is the SMART framework, making goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This approach brings clarity and structure to your vision. Rather than saying, I want to feel better, you commit to, I will walk outdoors for 30 minutes each morning for the next 2 weeks. This removes ambiguity and provides a clear path to follow. You know what success looks like, and your brain is better equipped to act on it. Build systems, not just goals. Milestone goals work best when supported by strong systems. Your habits are shaped not just by intention, but by environment and routine. Success is less about raw willpower and more about creating conditions that make your desired behaviors easier to follow. If you want to eat better, prepare your meals in advance. If you want to sleep better, establish a relaxing bedtime routine and remove screens from the room. If you want to journal daily, keep your notebook beside your bed as a visual reminder. Consistency thrives in simplicity. When your environment supports your goals, following through becomes natural, not forced. Progress over perfection. One of the most common traps on the journey to personal transformation is the belief that you must be perfect. But the path to growth is rarely a straight line. There will be missed days, setbacks, and detours. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. If you slip, realign. If you stumble, start again. Missing one day doesn't undo the steps you've taken. What matters most is your ability to get back on track without guilt. Milestone goals act as anchors. They remind you of your direction and give you a reason to keep going, even when motivation fades. Celebrate small wins. It's easy to overlook progress when you're focused on the final destination. But transformation is built on the back of small victories. Each milestone you reach, no matter how minor it may seem, is a sign of forward motion. Pause and acknowledge your efforts. Be proud of your progress. Let every small win remind you that you're capable, committed, and moving forward. Every big dream begins with one step. Well-being and longevity are not created in giant leaps. They are crafted in consistent, quiet choices. In early mornings, when you choose movement over excuses. In the kitchen, when you choose nourishment over convenience. In moments of stillness, when you choose awareness over distraction. If your dream feels too big, that's okay. It means it matters. Break it down. One decision at a time, one action at a time, one day at a time. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to begin. Chapter 4. Discipline over regret. The secret to long-term fulfillment. When it comes to achieving lasting well-being and a long, healthy life, most people search for hacks, shortcuts, or motivation. But the real secret isn't found in fleeting inspiration. It's found in something far less glamorous, yet infinitely more powerful: discipline. Discipline is the foundation of health and longevity. It's what turns knowledge into action and action into transformation. It's the difference between wishing for wellness and living it, day by day, step by step. In contrast, regret is the heavy cost of delay. It's what accumulates when we ignore our body's signals, skip the small daily choices that matter, and leave our health to chance. And while discipline may weigh ounces in effort, regret weighs tons in consequences: missed opportunities, declining health, and years lost to avoidable suffering. Why discipline is the backbone of well-being. You can know what to eat, when to sleep, how to exercise, and why stress must be managed. But without discipline, this knowledge stays locked away, unused. Discipline is the bridge between what you want and what you live. It's the quiet commitment to stretch even when you're tired. It's choosing water over soda. It's showing up for your morning walk even when the weather isn't perfect. These actions, done consistently, don't just change your health, they change your identity. You become the kind of person who values their well-being enough to protect it. Every disciplined choice is an act of self-respect, and every one of those choices compounds to extend your energy, your vitality, and your lifespan. Health is not an accident. It's a daily choice. We often speak of health as if it's outside our control, something that's lost with age or stolen by fate. But in reality, most chronic illnesses are lifestyle-driven. Heart disease, diabetes, obesity, even mental fatigue, and sleep disorders. They're often rooted in the cumulative effects of our daily habits. Discipline is how we reclaim that control. Choosing whole, natural foods over processed meals, prioritizing deep sleep over late-night scrolling, moving your body regularly instead of leading a sedentary life. These may seem like small decisions, but they are life-altering over time. When you live with discipline, you're no longer reacting to health problems. You're preventing them. You're investing in your future self. Replace motivation with habitual discipline. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes with mood, environment, and energy levels. Discipline, however, is stable. It doesn't ask how you feel. It simply follows what you know is good for you. This is especially important in well-being, where short-term sacrifices often lead to long-term gain. Eating cleaner, walking more, practicing mindfulness. All of these take effort up front, but the payoff is freedom. Freedom from pain, medication, fatigue, and disease. Discipline frees you from the trap of short-term indulgence that leads to long-term suffering. Discipline builds a healthier identity. Every time you honor a health-focused commitment, you reinforce your self-belief. I take care of myself. I value my life. I am consistent. Over time, your identity begins to shift. You no longer need to force yourself into healthy choices. They become who you are. This shift is powerful. It creates alignment between your values and your actions, which is essential for emotional and mental well-being. When your life aligns with your health goals, you feel calm, confident, and in control. The hidden cost of indisciplined neglect feels easy in the moment. Skip the workout, order the takeaway, stay up too late. But each time, there's a hidden cost. Slowly, your energy fades, your immunity drops, your mood shifts, brain fog creeps in. The decline is quiet but real. Eventually, that one day off becomes a lifestyle of ignoring your body's needs. That's how people end up asking, where did my health go? But it's not gone. It's been traded away, one choice at a time. Regret doesn't just show up in the mind. It shows up in the body, through inflammation, fatigue, chronic illness, and accelerated aging. Discipline creates longevity, not just lifestyle. A long life is not meaningful if it's filled with suffering. Discipline is what ensures that your years are not just numerous, but vibrant. It supports your cardiovascular health, maintains joint strength, preserves mental sharpness, and reduces your risk of age-related disease. More importantly, it gives you quality time with the people you love, and the ability to do the things you enjoy for decades longer. The path forward. Make wellness a non-negotiable. The goal is not perfection. You don't need to eat clean 100% of the time or never miss a day of meditation. You simply need to make your well-being non-negotiable. When health becomes a priority, not an option, you stop waiting for the perfect moment. You act today. You show up even when it's hard. You build resilience that not only protects your body but sharpens your mind and uplifts your spirit. Start with small shifts. Choose nourishing meals. Take 15-minute walks. Drink more water. Breathe deeply. Sleep early. Say no to what drains you. Let discipline be your daily act of self-care. You deserve the benefits, not the burden. Your future self is shaped by the discipline you show today. The energy, mobility, peace of mind, and strength you enjoy 10 years from now depend on the choices you make now. Will it be hard some days? Yes, but it will be worth it every single time. Because while the weight of discipline is light, the weight of regret can be unbearable. Choose discipline, choose well-being, choose longevity, and most importantly, choose you. Chapter 5. Focus in a Distracted World, Reclaiming Mental Clarity. We are living in the noisiest time in human history. Notifications buzz, messages ping, ads pop. Information flows faster than we can process. And somewhere in that constant stream of distraction, something precious is lost, our ability to focus. Focus is the gateway to clarity, peace, productivity, and ultimately, well-being. When you can control your attention, you can control your life. But when your mind is scattered, your energy becomes fractured, and with it, your health, your goals, and your inner peace begin to unravel. Mental clarity is not just a luxury. It is an essential step to long-term health and longevity. In this chapter, we explore how to reclaim it. The cost of constant distraction. Every time you're pulled away from what matters, by a social media notification, a news headline, or even a racing thought, you pay a price. These distractions may seem small, but they leave mental residue that slows you down, stresses you out, and chips away at your ability to think clearly. Research shows that switching between tasks and interruptions drains cognitive energy, increases anxiety, and even impacts memory. It also leads to chronic fatigue and decision paralysis, two common enemies of physical and mental well-being. Over time, this mental overload becomes toxic. It elevates cortisol levels, disrupts sleep, and triggers emotional reactivity. The more distracted you are, the harder it becomes to truly live well. Focus is more than productivity. It is mental nutrition. Your brain needs it to process, restore, and thrive. Clarity and longevity go hand in hand. There is a deep link between focus and long-term health. Clarity allows you to prioritize what really matters, nourishing your body, managing stress, making mindful decisions, and staying committed to your goals. When you lack focus, wellness becomes an afterthought. You reach for fast food instead of cooking. You scroll instead of stretching. You stay up late watching mindless videos instead of winding down for quality sleep. When you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your power to choose. Clarity leads to better choices. Better choices lead to better habits. And better habits lead to a longer, healthier, more vibrant life. Why focus has become so elusive? We live in an economy that profits from our attention. Apps, ads, and devices are designed to be addictive. They train our brains to crave novelty, fear missing out, and seek constant stimulation. But your mind is not a machine. It's a living system. It needs space. It needs stillness. It needs time to breathe. Our modern world pushes multitasking, but the human brain was designed for deep, singular focus. When you multitask, you don't do more. You do less, with less quality, more stress, and reduced long-term memory. This overstimulation also leads to mental exhaustion. You feel foggy, anxious, and disconnected from yourself. To reclaim your health and your longevity, you must learn to quiet the noise. How to reclaim mental clarity? Start by simplifying your environment. Remove unnecessary digital clutter. Turn off non-essential notifications. Dedicate certain hours of the day to being unreachable, and protect them like you would a sacred ritual. Next, create intentional focus blocks. Give yourself one task, one space, one purpose at a time. You'll be amazed how much calmer and sharper your mind becomes when it's not fighting constant interference. Meditation, even for just 5 to 10 minutes a day, is a powerful tool. It trains the brain to return to the present moment. Over time, it strengthens attention, improves memory, and reduces stress hormones. Nature is another ally. A short walk without your phone, just you, your breath, and the world around you, can reset your mind more powerfully than hours online. Also, protect your mental diet. Be mindful of what you consume. Limit exposure to negative news, toxic conversations, and mindless content. Feed your mind with inspiration, learning, and silence. The link between focus and emotional well-being focus isn't just mental, it's emotional. When you learn to direct your attention, you become less reactive. You're no longer a prisoner to anxiety, anger, or sadness. You gain the ability to respond to life, not just react. Clarity creates space between stimulus and response. That space is where peace lives. You begin to notice your thoughts instead of being overwhelmed by them. You learn to pause, to breathe, to choose. This self-awareness is the bedrock of emotional well-being. And emotional well-being is foundational to physical health and longevity. Build a life that supports clarity. Focus is not just something you practice, it's something you design for. Build routines that anchor your day in presence. Begin your mornings without screens. End your evenings in silence. Take breaks that refresh you. Organize your environment to reflect calm. The more intentional your space and schedule, the easier it is to live with focus. And the more focused you are, the more aligned, empowered, and alive you feel. Stillness is strength. In a world obsessed with speed and stimulation, stillness may feel like weakness. But in truth, stillness is a superpower. It allows you to go deeper, not just faster. It allows you to listen, reflect, and grow. It is in stillness that your body heals. It is in stillness that your mind recovers. It is in stillness that your true self can be heard. Longevity is not just about how long you live, but how deeply you live. Choose clarity over chaos. Your attention is your life force. Where you place it determines what you become. If you want better health, better relationships, better peace, start by focusing better. Not perfectly, just more intentionally. Bit by bit, breath by breath. You don't have to escape the world to reclaim your focus. You just need to come back to yourself. This is the power of presence. This is the beginning of mental clarity. And it's one of the most essential steps to a long, meaningful, and fulfilled life. Chapter 6. One life, one body, the sacred gift of health. Your body is the only place you will ever truly live. You can buy a new house, a new car, even a new wardrobe, but you only get one body, one heart that beats tirelessly for you, one pair of lungs that breathe life into you, one nervous system that connects your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. And yet, in the rush of daily life, we often treat our bodies like afterthoughts until something breaks. This chapter is a reminder of a powerful truth. Your health is your foundation, and it is one of the most sacred gifts you will ever receive. Without health, everything else becomes harder. Dreams are delayed, energy is depleted, joy is diminished. But with vibrant health, you gain access to your full potential, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's time to stop taking your body for granted and start treating it like the incredible, intelligent system it truly is. Health is not just the absence of disease. Many people think they are healthy simply because they are not sick. But true well-being goes far beyond that. It's not about waiting for symptoms. It's about building vitality, balance, and strength from the inside out. Real health means waking up energized, feeling mentally clear, digesting food with ease, moving without pain, sleeping deeply, experiencing emotions without being overwhelmed. It's a state of wholeness where your body, mind, and spirit work together in harmony. This is not a luxury. It's your birthright. But you must protect it. Your body reflects the choices you make daily, every bite you eat, every step you take, every hour of sleep you get, every thought you repeat. It all adds up. Your body is always listening. It responds to the way you treat it with precision. Feed it well, and it will reward you with energy. Move it regularly, and it will gift you with strength. Rest it deeply, and it will repair, heal, and regenerate. Neglect it, and the consequences accumulate silently. Chronic fatigue, inflammation, pain, disease, accelerated aging. These don't appear overnight. They're often the result of years of imbalance. The beauty is this: you have the power to change that trajectory today. The foundation of longevity: respect your body. Longevity is not about simply extending your lifespan. It's about extending your health span, the number of years you feel alive, mobile, independent, and joyful. To do this, you must begin to view your body not as a machine to push, punish, or ignore, but as a sacred vessel that deserves care, attention, and love. Start with food. Food is not just fuel, it is information. It tells your body what to do. A diet filled with fresh vegetables, whole grains, clean proteins, healthy fats, and natural hydration becomes your daily medicine. Prioritize movement. Your body was made to move, not just for fitness, but for function, flexibility, and freedom. Regular exercise enhances circulation, improves mood, and even boosts your immune system. Embrace rest. Deep sleep is not wasted time. It's when your body resets, detoxifies, and rebuilds. The same goes for mindful stillness. Stress is a silent killer, and your body needs moments of peace to return to balance. These are not extreme acts. They are essential acts of preservation. Your body is always trying to heal, even if you've ignored your health for years. your body has not given up on you. Every second, it is fighting for balance. It is detoxing, repairing, regenerating, adapting. Your heart has beaten thousands of times since you started reading this chapter without asking for thanks. Your lungs have taken in oxygen and released carbon dioxide in a perfect rhythm. Your immune system is scanning for invaders. Your liver is filtering toxins. Your brain is processing, sorting, storing, protecting. You are a miracle in motion. All your body needs is your support. Give it better food, and it responds. Give it movement, and it strengthens. Give it rest, and it restores. Give it love, and it heals faster. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. Self-care is not selfish. It's self-respect. Some people feel guilty for prioritizing their health. They say, I don't have time. But let's be honest, you don't have time not to. Because when your health breaks down, everything else comes to a halt. Your work, your relationships, your dreams. Caring for your body is not about vanity. It's about vitality. It's not about having abs or perfect skin. It's about waking up with the strength to do what matters to you. When you care for your body, you send a powerful message to yourself and to the world. I am worth protecting. I am worth investing in. I am here to thrive, not just survive. Build a new relationship with your body. Treat your body like a trusted friend. Listen to it. Respect its signals. Thank it often. If it's tired, let it rest. If it's tight, let it stretch. If it's inflamed, let it recover. If it's hungry, feed it nourishing foods. If it's anxious, breathe, move, and ground yourself. Most of all, forgive it, even if it's been sick, even if it's gained weight, even if it's aging. It's doing its best. And so can you. One life, one body, one chance. You only get one body in this life. You can't trade it in. You can't restart it. You can't borrow someone else's. What you can do is honor it, starting now. Care for it with discipline. Nourish it with love. Move it with joy. Rest it with intention. Because every step you take to protect your body today is a gift to your future self. You have one life, one body. Make it a masterpiece. Chapter 7. Stress isn't just stress. It's a silent thief of life. Stress is often worn like a badge of honor in modern society. I'm just so busy. I haven't had a break in weeks. I thrive under pressure. We normalize it. We joke about it. We suppress it. But what we fail to realize is that stress isn't just a mental weight. It's a physiological storm that slowly steals our health, energy, and time. It is, quite literally, a silent thief of life. If left unmanaged, stress becomes one of the most destructive forces to your well-being and longevity. It inflames the body, clouds the mind, damages the heart, disrupts sleep, weakens immunity, and accelerates aging. This chapter is not about eliminating stress altogether. That's not realistic. It's about recognizing it, respecting it, and learning how to manage it so it doesn't manage you. Understanding stress, more than a feeling stress, is your body's survival response. When you perceive danger, real or imagined, your brain triggers a cascade of reactions. Adrenaline surges, cortisol spikes, your heart rate increases, muscles tense, and digestion slows. In ancient times, this fight or flight mode kept us alive. But in today's world, the threats aren't wild animals. They're traffic jams, bills, emails, and internal pressure. And unlike short-term survival stress, chronic stress never turns off. When the body stays in this heightened state, day after day, week after week, it begins to break down. Inflammation becomes constant. Blood pressure rises. Sleep becomes disturbed. Hormones become imbalanced. Digestion suffers. Mental clarity fades. Over time, the toll becomes visible, and often irreversible. The link between stress and disease. It's now well documented that chronic stress plays a major role in the development of many health issues: heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disorders, chronic fatigue, anxiety, depression, and even cancer. That's because stress impacts every system in the body. When you are under stress, your immune system weakens, making you more vulnerable to illness. Your body holds onto fat, especially around the belly. Your gut flora becomes imbalanced, impairing digestion and nutrient absorption. Even your DNA can be affected. Stress shortens telomeres, the protective caps on your chromosomes, which accelerates aging. What this means is simple but powerful. Managing stress is not optional if you want to live a long, healthy life. Emotional stress is physical stress. Many people underestimate the impact of emotional stress. Suppressed anger, unresolved grief, toxic relationships, burnout, and even loneliness all activate the same stress response in the body. You may think you're handling it, but your body knows otherwise. Tight shoulders, shallow breath, racing thoughts, tension headaches, mood swings, digestive upset. These are not random symptoms. They are your body's language, warning signs that something deeper needs attention. And the longer you ignore them, the louder they become. Awareness, the first step to reclaiming control. You cannot heal what you do not acknowledge. Start noticing your stress patterns. When does it show up? What triggers it? How does it feel in your body? How do you cope, constructively or destructively? Awareness gives you power. Once you see stress as a signal, not a shame, you can begin to respond rather than react. You don't need to wait for burnout to change. You can start with small shifts today. Simple practices that protect your mind and body. Managing stress is not about escaping life. It's about creating habits that restore balance. Start with breath. Deep, conscious breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which brings the body out of fight or flight and into rest and repair. Just 5 minutes of slow breathing can lower your heart rate, reduce anxiety, and clear your mind. Prioritize sleep. Chronic stress and poor sleep feed each other in a vicious cycle. Protect your rest. Wind down without screens. Create a calming routine. Sleep is where your body repairs and your mind resets. Move your body daily. Exercise is one of the most powerful stress busters. It releases endorphins, clears cortisol, and shifts your emotional state. Even a short walk in nature can calm your nervous system and lift your mood. Set healthy boundaries. Say no when needed. Protect your peace. Distance yourself from draining people and environments. It's not selfish, it's survival. Practice mindfulness, whether it's meditation, journaling, prayer, or simply sitting in silence. Give your mind space to process and breathe. Stay connected. Loneliness is a hidden form of stress. Spend time with people who uplift you. Laugh often. Share openly. Connection heals. Your body deserves safety, not just survival. You don't need to be in survival mode all the time. Your body is not designed to live under constant pressure. It's built to thrive in cycles of effort and rest, challenge and recovery, movement, stillness. When you create safety for your nervous system through lifestyle, habits, and self-awareness, you create the conditions for healing, health, and happiness. Stress will knock, but you don't have to let it, and life will always bring challenges. But you get to decide how you meet them. You can meet them with presence, not panic, with breath, not breakdown, with grace, not guilt. Remember, it's not the stress itself that destroys us. It's the lack of recovery. When you master the art of recovery, you master the art of resilience. And resilience is the secret to a long, strong, joyful life. You deserve to feel safe in your body. You deserve to feel calm in your mind. Let this be the chapter where you stop surviving stress and start transforming it. Chapter 8, Know Thyself, the Power of Self-Reflection and Emotional Insight. One of the most overlooked pillars of health and longevity isn't found in a supplement bottle or workout plan. It begins much deeper, within the self. To truly thrive, you must first understand who you are. Not just your goals or your habits, but your thoughts, emotions, fears, patterns, and the stories you tell yourself. The journey to well-being and long life is not just about treating the body. It's about understanding the inner world that governs it. As the ancient Greek maxim carved into the temple of Apollo says, "Know thyself." This isn't a poetic suggestion. It's a call to clarity, a challenge to confront your own complexity with honesty, compassion, and curiosity. Because when you truly know yourself, you begin to live in alignment. And alignment is the birthplace of peace, purpose, and powerful health. Why self-reflection is a vital health practice. Your physical body and emotional body are deeply connected. When your emotions are buried or left unchecked, they don't disappear. They express themselves in the body. They show up as tension, inflammation, chronic fatigue, insomnia, digestive issues, and anxiety. On the other hand, when you take the time to reflect, to sit with your emotions, to ask yourself why you feel what you feel, you begin to clear the mental fog, relieve emotional pressure, and allow healing to take root. Self-reflection is not just for philosophers. It's for anyone who wants to live fully, consciously, and well. Emotions are messengers, not enemies. Many of us were taught to suppress our emotions, to be strong, to stay busy, to power through. But emotions are not weaknesses. They're intelligent signals from your inner world. Fear often points to something that needs protecting. Anger reveals a boundary that has been crossed. Sadness signals the need for healing or change. Joy reminds you what matters most. When you ignore these messages, you disconnect from your truth. But when you pay attention to them, you begin to understand your needs, your wounds, and your true desires. Emotional insight helps you live authentically, and authenticity reduces stress, increases clarity, and supports long-term health. Break free from unconscious patterns. Much of human behavior is habitual and unconscious. We react to stress, repeat self-sabotaging habits, and relive the same emotional loops, not because we lack willpower, but because we lack awareness. Self-reflection shines a light on these blind spots. It helps you ask yourself why you feel anxious in certain situations, what you're avoiding with specific habits, and whether you're truly living by your values or merely reacting to the expectations of others. When you begin to ask deeper, more honest questions, you begin to build a better, more intentional life. You can't heal what you're unwilling to feel. But when you do feel it, fully, honestly, you liberate yourself from the cycle. This is the work that transforms not just your mind, but your body and your future. Journaling, a simple, powerful practice. You don't need therapy sessions or retreats to get to know yourself better. One of the most accessible tools is journaling. Writing down your thoughts, feelings, and reflections helps you process experiences and identify hidden patterns. It brings clarity to the noise. It slows the racing mind and helps you speak your truth to yourself. It's not about writing perfectly. It's about writing honestly. Whether it's what hurts, what inspires, what confuses, or what you hope for, journaling offers you a mirror to your inner world. And with consistent practice, it becomes your emotional compass. Emotional clarity leads to better decisions. When you know yourself, you stop chasing things that don't fulfill you. You no longer seek constant validation. You don't just react to life, you respond with clarity. This kind of self-awareness changes everything. You eat with intention rather than impulse. You move your body out of self-respect, not guilt. You build relationships that nourish you instead of drain you. Clarity is power. It reduces emotional chaos and protects your energy. It supports your physical health by reducing the internal stress that comes from living out of alignment. Self-compassion, the other half of insight. As you go deeper into self-reflection, you will uncover uncomfortable truths. You will meet the parts of yourself that made mistakes, the patterns you wish you'd broken sooner, and the feelings you've buried. This is where self-compassion must enter. Growth is not about perfection. It's about progress. You're not doing this work to punish yourself. You're doing it to heal. Be patient with yourself. Be kind. The more gentle you are, the more your nervous system will relax and allow true transformation. Self-awareness without compassion leads to shame. But with compassion, it leads to freedom. Knowing yourself creates inner peace. The more you understand yourself, the less you pretend to be someone you're not. You begin to trust your voice, honor your emotions, and follow your intuition. This alignment leads to inner peace. And inner peace is not just a feeling, it's a state of health. It lowers stress, supports immune function, improves sleep, and enhances your overall well-being. When the mind is still, the body heals. This isn't just self-help, it's self-preservation. Self-reflection is a quiet, powerful medicine. You are the deepest work you'll ever do knowing yourself isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice, and it's one of the most worthwhile investments you can make. So take the time. Sit in silence, reflect, write, feel, breathe. Ask the questions you've been avoiding. Face the truths you've buried. Because when you begin to truly know yourself, you stop running. You start living. And that, more than anything, is the beginning of true well-being and longevity. Chapter 9. Living with Intention. Replace autopilot with awareness. Have you ever reached the end of a day and wondered where the time went? You went through the motions, ate, worked, scrolled, maybe even exercised. But it all felt automatic, as if you were drifting instead of directing your life. That's the nature of modern living. So fast-paced, so overstimulated, that we often fall into autopilot mode, reacting rather than responding, surviving rather than living. But if you want to experience true well-being and longevity, you must learn to pause, reflect, and choose consciously. You must begin to live with intention. Intentional living isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, making deliberate choices that support the life you truly want to live. The danger of drifting living without intention doesn't always feel wrong. It feels comfortable, even efficient. But beneath the surface, it often leads to a quiet sense of dissatisfaction. You might be productive, yet feel disconnected. You might appear successful, yet feel emotionally flat. The danger lies in the fact that you're not choosing, you're drifting. You wake up and follow yesterday's patterns without asking if they still serve you. You make choices based on habit, impulse, or pressure, instead of clarity and alignment. Over time, this leads to burnout, emotional numbness, poor health, and a sense that life is passing you by. Awareness is the antidote. What it means to live with intention to live intentionally means to be present in your life. It means you know what matters to you, and you align your thoughts, actions, and energy accordingly. It's about making decisions with purpose, rather than defaulting to whatever is easiest or most familiar. Intentional living is waking up and asking yourself, how do I want to feel today? It's choosing food that nourishes, not just satisfies. It's speaking with kindness, because connection matters more than ego. It's creating space for stillness, because your peace is sacred. It's choosing rest, because you value your body's need to recover. Every action becomes a vote for the life you want to create. Awareness is the first step to change. You cannot change what you don't notice. Living with intention begins with becoming aware of how you are currently living. Start paying attention. Observe your habits, your routines, your inner dialogue. Notice how you feel when you eat certain foods, spend time with certain people, or engage in specific environments. Tune into your energy, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. You'll begin to see patterns, some that support your well-being and others that sabotage it. With awareness, you regain choice. You're no longer trapped in automatic behaviors. You're empowered to redirect your life with purpose. Design your days to reflect your values. Living with intention doesn't require dramatic life changes. It's often the smallest decisions, repeated consistently, that create the greatest transformation. Start with your mornings. Instead of jumping straight into screens or stress, begin with a few moments of stillness, gratitude, or reflection. These first few minutes shape the tone of your entire day. Be mindful of how you eat. Savor your meals. Eat slowly. Be present with your food and your body. Choose movement that feels good, not just to burn calories, but to express energy, to release stress, and to reconnect with your physical self. When you speak, listen to the words you use. Are they rooted in fear, judgment, or love? Words carry energy, and so do intentions. Build routines that serve your future. Schedule time for rest. Protect your sleep. Prioritize connection, creativity, and simplicity. Make space for silence. When your days reflect your values, your life begins to feel like your own. The link between intention and longevity. People who live with purpose and presence tend to live longer, healthier lives, not because they avoid stress or illness, but because their daily decisions are driven by clarity, not chaos. Intentional living reduces mental clutter. It keeps you anchored during challenges. It lowers stress hormones and improves emotional regulation. It supports immune function, promotes better sleep, and deepens your connection to self and others. Most importantly, it helps you feel alive, not just existing, but engaged. That sense of fulfillment is a powerful medicine for the body and mind. Presence is the new power in a world full of distractions. Presence is rare and powerful. When you bring full attention to a moment, everything deepens. Your relationships feel richer. Your meals become more nourishing. Your movement becomes more effective. Even your rest becomes more restorative. Being present isn't about doing less. It's about being more fully in whatever you're doing. You stop rushing. You start noticing. You stop escaping. You start feeling. That's when life starts to expand, moment by moment. You have the power to choose differently. No matter how long you've lived on autopilot, you can choose differently. You can pause. You can reflect. You can ask, what truly matters to me, and am I living in a way that honors that? Then begin. One choice at a time, one breath at a time. Intentional living isn't about control. It's about connection. It's about knowing yourself deeply and choosing what serves your health, your peace, and your purpose. You are the author of your life. Every day is a blank page. Will you let it write itself, or will you write it with intention? You have one life. Live it wide awake. Chapter 10. The Legacy Mindset. Living today with tomorrow in mind. We often live as though time is endless, as though there will always be another Monday, another year, another chance to begin. But the truth is, time is our most precious and limited resource. What we do with it matters. How we live each day becomes our legacy. The legacy mindset is not just about what you leave behind after you're gone. It's about how you live right now, with a sense of deeper purpose, long-term impact, and conscious presence. It's about making choices today that serve not only your future self, but also the lives of those around you. A life of well-being and longevity is not just about extending your years, it's about expanding your meaning. It's about showing up fully in the present while planting seeds that will grow beyond your lifetime. Your legacy is built in the present moment. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the person you become and to the ripple effect you create in the world. The words you speak, the care you show, the habits you cultivate, the energy you bring into a room. These seemingly simple things build the blueprint of your legacy. You don't need fame, wealth, or a long resume to leave a legacy. You need intention. Taking care of your health so you can be present for your family. That's legacy. Teaching your children emotional intelligence. That's legacy. Living your values out loud, not just preaching them. That's legacy. Choosing peace over pride in a conflict. That's legacy. Serving with kindness, leading with compassion, and striving to grow every day. That's how legacy is created. What will you be remembered for? One of the most powerful exercises in personal growth is to ask yourself, if my life ended tomorrow, what would people say about how I lived? And then, am I living in a way that reflects the message I want to leave behind? This isn't meant to provoke fear. It's meant to spark clarity. When you reflect on your legacy, you begin to prioritize differently. You begin to value moments over materials, experiences over ego, contribution over comparison, health over haste. You begin to recognize that your well-being is not just about you. It's about the life you're able to pour into others because you're whole, strong, and fully alive. Health is a gift to the future. When you take care of your health today, you are protecting the memories you've yet to make. You are investing in your ability to walk your daughter down the aisle, to run with your grandchildren, to travel, to laugh, to live without pain, to stay present in conversations, not just for yourself, but for those who love you. Discipline in your diet, consistency in movement, commitment to rest, mindfulness and stress management. These aren't just routines. They're acts of future protection. They are the habits that allow you to show up for decades, to come with energy, clarity, and joy. Living with a legacy mindset turns wellness from a chore into a mission. Legacy is not what you leave, it's what you live. Many people think of legacy as something to plan for later in life, once they've made it. But the truth is, you're already creating it, moment by moment. Legacy is found in your daily presence, your small acts of integrity, your consistency in caring, your ability to grow and evolve. It's in the apology you make, the lesson you teach, the hand you hold, the truth you speak, and the love you give. Especially when it's hard. A meaningful legacy isn't written in a will, it's written in the hearts you touch. And it starts with how you live today. The long view brings peace and purpose. When you live with tomorrow in mind, your priorities shift. You stop reacting to short-term stress with panic. You stop chasing things that don't feed your soul. You slow down, breathe deeper, and live with more presence. You become less interested in being impressive and more committed to being impactful, less reactive, more reflective, less about what you can gain, more about what you can give. This perspective reduces anxiety. It brings peace. And it gives you the courage to align your life with your values, even when it's inconvenient. Every day is a legacy moment. You don't need a big platform or a perfect plan to start living intentionally. Legacy is built in quiet, daily decisions. When you choose water instead of soda, you're choosing long-term vitality. When you pause and truly listen to someone, you're choosing connection. When you put down your phone and go for a walk, you're choosing presence. When you forgive instead of holding a grudge, you're choosing peace. These aren't small acts. They are the architecture of a life well lived. Live fully. Leave light. You don't have to change the whole world, but you can change your world and the worlds of those around you through how you live each day. Take care of your body like you plan to use it for a long, beautiful journey. Care for your mind like it's the lens through which you see your life. Nurture your relationships like they're the real wealth you'll pass on. Speak with love. Walk with purpose. Choose with awareness. You are not just here to survive. You are here to make a difference, however quiet or bold that may be. This is your life. This is your chance. Live it with meaning. Your legacy begins now. Chapter 11. The Energy Equation, Mastering Daily Vitality Without Burnout. Energy is life. It fuels your thoughts, your movements, your creativity, your ability to connect and contribute. Without it, even the most meaningful goals and deepest desires can feel out of reach. Yet in our modern world, low energy has become the norm. People are running on caffeine, surviving on little sleep, and pushing themselves to the edge in a cycle of constant doing. But real energy, sustainable, vibrant, life-giving energy, does not come from stimulants or shortcuts. It comes from balance, intention, and understanding your body's needs. This chapter is about mastering your energy without burning out. It's about becoming aware of how energy is produced, where it is drained, and how you can protect, renew, and elevate it naturally, so you can feel alive, clear-headed, and resilient every day. The 3 pillars of energy, body, mind, and emotion true vitality doesn't come from one area alone. It's the integration of physical, mental, and emotional health. When one is neglected, the others are affected. To master energy, you must address all 3. Your body provides the physical fuel through movement, nutrition, hydration, and rest. Your mind governs focus, clarity, and decision-making. Overthinking, worry, and information overload drain your mental energy. Your emotions either energize or exhaust you. Joy, purpose, and gratitude lift you. Resentment, fear, and unresolved stress wear you down. By learning to nourish all three areas, you can create a daily energy system that is self-sustaining. Energy leaks, where your vitality disappears. Before we talk about increasing energy, we need to identify the places where it's being lost. Many people don't lack energy. They simply leak it. Poor sleep habits, excessive screen time, processed food, sedentary routines, negative self-talk, emotional drama, multitasking, and cluttered environments are all silent energy thieves. It's like trying to fill a bucket that has holes in the bottom. You may be eating well and exercising, but if you're draining yourself emotionally or mentally, you'll still feel tired. The first step to reclaiming your energy is plugging the leaks. That means simplifying your schedule, cutting back on digital noise, setting emotional boundaries, protecting your rest, and learning to say no when your body says no. Energy is sacred. Treat it that way. Nutrition, fuel that heals, not harms what you eat, either energizes you or exhausts you. Real food, fresh vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, clean proteins, and whole grains provides your cells with the fuel they need to function. Processed foods, refined sugars, artificial additives, and overeating dull your system. They spike your blood sugar, crash your focus, inflame your body, and leave you feeling foggy and drained. Begin to see food not just as calories, but as communication. Your meals are sending messages to your body all day long. Make those messages supportive, not stressful. Hydration is just as essential. Fatigue is often dehydration in disguise. Begin each day with water and sip throughout. Your cells and your brain will thank you. Movement creates energy. It may sound counterintuitive, but the more you move, the more energy you have. Exercise improves blood flow, delivers oxygen to your tissues, stimulates endorphins, and activates the nervous system. You don't need to run marathons. A short walk in the sun, a gentle yoga session, or dancing in your living room can reset your energy far better than another cup of coffee. Movement also shifts stagnant emotion, clears mental fog, and grounds your nervous system. Move your body not as punishment, but as a form of daily recharging. Rest and recovery. Where energy is rebuilt, the modern world glorifies hustle and productivity. But your body is not a machine. It's a living organism that requires recovery to regenerate. Sleep is non-negotiable. It's during deep rest that your brain detoxes, your cells repair, and your hormones rebalance. Without quality sleep, no supplement or workout can restore your energy. Beyond sleep, you need moments of micro-rest throughout the day. Short breaks, deep breathing, stepping away from screens, and quiet time help you renew in real time. Make rest a priority, not a reward. Rest is what sustains your output and protects your longevity. Mental energy, focus is fuel your mind consumes a massive amount of energy. Scattered thoughts, multitasking, constant decision-making, and overthinking are major drains. Clarity is your power, reducing mental clutter, keeping your environment organized, making fewer and more intentional decisions, and simplifying your routines gives your brain room to breathe. Practicing mindfulness through even just a few minutes of stillness or conscious breath can help sharpen focus and restore balance. The clearer your mind, the more energy your body can use efficiently. Emotional energy, your invisible battery emotions, can energize or exhaust you. Living in alignment with your values and nurturing joy, purpose, and gratitude gives you emotional fuel. But when you're stuck in cycles of guilt, anger, or people-pleasing, energy drains quickly. Protecting your peace is crucial. Practicing emotional honesty, forgiving yourself and others, letting go of things you can't control, and surrounding yourself with uplifting people are acts of emotional self-care. The more emotionally clear and stable you are, the more energy you'll naturally radiate. Vitality is a daily practice. Energy doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from living smarter. It's about understanding the way your body, mind, and emotions interact and learning to support them harmoniously. Wake up with intention. Nourish your body with clean fuel. Move gently. Focus your mind. Protect your boundaries. Rest with purpose. Breathe with awareness. You don't need to chase energy. You need to cultivate it, consciously, consistently, and with care. When you master your energy, you master your days. And when you master your days, you master your life. That is how you build a foundation for deep well-being and true longevity. Not through burnout, but through balance. Chapter 12. Nature's Healing Power. Reconnecting with the earth for inner balance. There is a quiet intelligence in nature that many of us have forgotten. For thousands of years, human beings lived in harmony with the natural world. We rose with the sun, slept beneath the stars, ate what the earth provided, and moved through landscapes filled with trees, rivers, mountains, and wind. Nature was not something separate. It was part of us. But in the modern world, we have drifted far from that connection. We spend our days in concrete boxes, under artificial lights, staring at screens, disconnected from the rhythms of the seasons, the cycles of the moon, and the healing energy of the earth. And in that disconnection, we lose something vital. Not only peace, but health. This chapter is a call to remember that nature is not just a place to visit. It is a powerful, living force that restores, grounds, and heals us. To experience true well-being and longevity, we must reconnect with the earth. The science of nature and healing modern science is finally catching up to what ancient cultures have known for centuries. Spending time in nature is deeply therapeutic. Studies show that time in green spaces reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, lowers blood pressure, improves heart rate variability, enhances immunity, and boosts mood. Even just a few minutes outside can improve focus, reduce anxiety, and increase a sense of calm. Natural environments soothe the nervous system. The sound of leaves rustling, birds singing, or water flowing activates the parasympathetic system, the part of the body responsible for rest, digestion, and repair. This isn't just spiritual, it's biological. Your body knows it belongs in nature, grounding the earth's energy beneath your feet. One of the most powerful ways to reconnect with nature is through grounding, also known as earthing. This simple practice involves walking barefoot on natural surfaces, grass, soil, sand, or even stone. The earth carries a subtle electrical charge, and when your skin makes contact with it, electrons flow into your body. These electrons act as antioxidants, neutralizing free radicals and reducing inflammation. Grounding has been linked to better sleep, reduced pain, faster recovery, and lower stress. It reconnects you not only to the planet, but to your own body. If you've ever felt a wave of calm while walking barefoot at the beach or lying on the grass under the sun, you've felt this healing in action. Sunlight, the original vitamin we've been taught to fear the sun. But the truth is, moderate, mindful exposure to sunlight is essential for health. Sunlight stimulates vitamin D production, which is crucial for immune function, bone strength, hormone balance, and mental well-being. It also helps regulate your circadian rhythm, your internal clock, which controls your sleep, energy levels, and metabolism. Morning sunlight, in particular, helps reset this rhythm. Just 10 to 15 minutes of sun exposure early in the day can boost alertness, improve mood, and enhance nighttime sleep quality. The key is balance. Let the sun in, but with respect, not fear. Nature. As a mental and emotional reset beyond the physical benefits, nature gives us something that no pill, app, or screen can offer: perspective. When you stand beneath a vast sky, gaze at the ocean, or walk through a forest, something shifts inside you. Your problems don't disappear, but they seem smaller, more manageable. Your breath slows, your thoughts quiet down, your heart softens. This isn't just relaxation, it's reconnection. Nature reminds you of your place in the greater whole. It pulls you out of your head and back into your heart. It dissolves stress and awakens gratitude. When life feels overwhelming, nature is the medicine, the lost rhythm, reclaiming natural cycles. We've become disconnected from the natural rhythms of life: sunrise and sunset, planting and harvest, activity and rest. Our 24/7 culture has flattened these cycles into one constant state: go. But your body and mind thrive in rhythmic flow, not constant intensity. By syncing your life with nature's pace, waking earlier, eating seasonally, sleeping with the moonlight, resting more in winter, you begin to restore harmony in your system. Your hormones stabilize, your digestion improves, your energy flows more consistently. Nature has a rhythm. When you live in tune with it, you feel more like yourself. Simple ways to reconnect with nature. You don't need to hike in the mountains or camp in the wilderness to feel the benefits of nature. Even the smallest reconnection can make a powerful difference. Sit under a tree, walk barefoot in the park, listen to rain, grow herbs in your kitchen, open the window and breathe in fresh air. Watch the stars before bed. Let your feet touch the ground without shoes for 5 minutes. Gaze at the moon. These moments are sacred. They bring you back into your body, into the present, and into relationship with the living world around you. Nature is a teacher. Nature teaches without speaking. Trees show us how to stand tall yet remain rooted. Rivers teach us to keep flowing, even around obstacles. The seasons remind us that rest is part of growth, that change is natural, and that no winter lasts forever. If you're willing to observe, the earth becomes a mirror, one that reflects not only what you are, but what you're capable of becoming. Coming home to the earth and to yourself, the more disconnected you feel from nature, the more disconnected you feel from your own soul. That's not accidental. Your nervous system, your cells, your lungs, your heartbeat, they were designed for this planet, for these rhythms, for this life. Reconnecting with nature is not just about walking outside. It's about returning to your natural state, balanced, grounded, and at peace. True well-being isn't found in constant stimulation or artificial comfort. It's found in the wind, in the trees, in the silence between waves. So come back to the earth, come back to stillness, and in doing so, come back to yourself. Chapter 13, Digital Discipline, Creating Space in a Hyper-Connected World. We live in a time when almost everything is instant. With one tap, we can order food, watch a movie, check the news, or scroll through the lives of thousands of people. The digital world is woven into every part of our daily lives, from how we communicate and work to how we unwind and even how we measure our worth. But there is a hidden cost to this convenience, our focus, peace, and presence. We were not designed to process this much noise, the constant notifications, the pressure to respond, the endless feeds of curated perfection. They drain us emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Slowly and quietly, our devices have shifted from tools of empowerment to sources of distraction and overwhelm. This chapter is a call for balance. It's not about rejecting technology, it's about mastering it. It's about developing digital discipline so that technology serves your well-being, not steals from it. Because in the pursuit of longevity and a life well lived, protecting your attention and nervous system is essential. The modern epidemic, digital overload. Most people don't realize just how much time they're spending on screens. Hours scroll by unnoticed, on social media, email, messages, or binge-watching content. And while it may seem harmless, this constant input keeps the brain in a heightened, reactive state. Overexposure to digital content leads to decision fatigue, mental fog, anxiety, sleep disruption, and even addictive behavior patterns. The more we consume, the harder it becomes to focus, rest, or feel fulfilled by real life. You may feel wired but tired, your mind racing even when your body is exhausted. This is not your fault. It's how the system is designed to keep you clicking, watching, buying, comparing, and craving more. The good news is you can take back control. Your attention is your life force. Where your attention goes, your life flows. The quality of your life is shaped by what you focus on. If your attention is constantly hijacked by endless notifications, news cycles, and comparison traps, you begin to lose touch with your inner world. You begin to forget how to be still, how to listen, how to be present with a loved one or even with yourself. Reclaiming your attention is not just a productivity hack, It's a path to deeper peace, connection, and longevity. Digital boundaries, why you need them. Just like you set boundaries in relationships or work, you need to set boundaries with your devices. This is not about deprivation. It's about protection. You're protecting your mind from burnout, your nervous system from overstimulation, and your time from being stolen. Without boundaries, your phone will decide your mood. Your inbox will decide your priorities. The algorithm will decide what you believe, fear, and desire. Digital boundaries help you live intentionally, not reactively. Create digital space to breathe. Small changes can make a huge impact. Start and end your day without screens. Avoid reaching for your phone the moment you wake up or right before you sleep. These windows of the day are sacred. They shape your thoughts, mood, and hormones. Turn off non-essential notifications. Choose specific times to check emails or social media instead of constantly reacting. Practice single tasking, giving your full attention to one thing at a time. Keep your phone out of the bedroom. Let your bedroom be a sanctuary for rest, not stimulation. Even just a few hours a day without screens can recharge your brain more than a full night's sleep with digital interference. Make room for real connection. Technology has made it easier to communicate, but harder to connect. We scroll through photos of people we haven't spoken to in years, yet barely make eye contact at dinner. We text more, but listen less. We share everything and feel emptier. Longevity is deeply tied to meaningful relationships. Human connection nourishes the heart, boosts the immune system, reduces stress, and increases lifespan. Make space for real conversations. Be fully present. Look people in the eye. Listen without checking your phone. Touch, laugh, share. These moments are what make life rich and worth living. Find joy in offline living. When you create space away from screens, you begin to rediscover what truly lights you up. You read more, move more, reflect more. You return to hobbies, to nature, to silence. You become more creative, intuitive, and emotionally available. Your senses sharpen. You notice details, a bird's song, the feeling of warm tea, your own breath. You stop rushing and start being. You begin to feel whole again, not because you're getting more likes, but because you're living in alignment with your inner peace. Technology is a tool, not a master. Technology is not the enemy. It can inform, inspire, and connect us in powerful ways, but only when we use it with intention. It's time to reframe your relationship with your devices. Use them to support your health goals, not sabotage them. Follow people who uplift you, not those who make you feel less. Choose content that nourishes your mind, not numbs it. Don't let algorithms design your destiny. Let your values lead your choices. Create a digital life that supports your real-life. True digital discipline doesn't mean going offline forever. It means becoming conscious. It means asking, is this adding value to my life or stealing from it? When you begin to live by that question, your time becomes richer. Your mind becomes clearer. Your relationships deepen. Your sleep improves. Your stress drops. Your focus sharpens, and your days feel more like your own. In a hyper-connected world, choosing presence is an act of rebellion and a path to deep, lasting well-being. So power down, look up, and come back to the moment. That's where life is happening. Chapter 14. Food is medicine, eating to heal, nourish, and thrive. We live in a world where food is everywhere, fast, cheap, convenient, and often disconnected from its original purpose, to nourish and heal. Food has become entertainment, comfort, habit, or background noise while scrolling or watching screens. But food, in its truest form, is information. It communicates with your body at the cellular level. It signals hormones, balances blood sugar, repairs tissue, fuels your brain, and powers your immune system. Every bite you take is a message. It either promotes healing or feeds dysfunction. It either energizes you or weighs you down. It either supports longevity or slowly shortens it. In this chapter, we return to the wisdom that ancient cultures lived by and modern science now confirms: food is medicine. The forgotten power of food for centuries. Healers around the world used food not just to satisfy hunger, but to restore balance in the body. They understood that nature provided what the body needed, seasonally, locally, and simply. Today, we've replaced this wisdom with ultra-processed options, addictive additives, artificial colors, and refined sugars. The modern diet has become a leading cause of chronic disease, inflammation, obesity, anxiety, and fatigue. But this isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. Your body is constantly regenerating. You get a new gut lining every few days, new skin every few weeks, a new liver in months. Food provides the building blocks for that regeneration. The quality of those building blocks matters. Nourishment over numbers diets have become a billion-dollar industry. People count calories, restrict carbs, chase trends, and fear fat. But true nourishment isn't found in extremes. It's found in wholeness, simplicity, and listening to your body. Instead of focusing on how much you eat, start focusing on what you eat and how it makes you feel. A plate filled with color from natural sources, leafy greens, vibrant vegetables, fruits, seeds, herbs, is medicine. These foods contain phytonutrients, antioxidants, enzymes, and fibers that protect your cells and support healing. Whole, unprocessed foods reduce inflammation, support detoxification, and feed the good bacteria in your gut, bacteria that influence everything from immunity, metabolism, to your mood and brain health. When you eat real food, you're not just feeding your stomach, you're fueling your future. Inflammation, the root of modern illness, chronic inflammation is a silent driver behind nearly every modern disease. Heart disease, diabetes, autoimmune conditions, depression, even cancer. And diet plays a key role in either igniting or calming that inflammation. Refined sugar, trans fats, excess alcohol, and processed grains are major culprits. They disrupt hormones, damage gut health, spike insulin, and trigger stress responses in the body. On the other hand, foods like turmeric, berries, ginger, dark leafy greens, olive oil, garlic, nuts, seeds, and omega-3 rich fish are known to reduce inflammation and support healing from the inside out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to make consistent, mindful shifts. Gut health, the core of longevity. Your gut is not just a digestive system. It's a second brain, home to trillions of microbes that influence everything from energy levels to immunity, mental clarity, weight, and mood. When your gut is healthy, your whole system works better. When it's inflamed, imbalanced, or leaky, the effects ripple outward, often in the form of fatigue, food sensitivity, skin issues, low mood, or chronic disease. Fermented foods like sauerkraut, kefir, miso, and yogurt with live cultures support gut flora. So do fiber-rich foods like lentils, apples, chia seeds, and oats. Hydration is also essential. Water helps move nutrients through your system and supports digestion and detoxification. Healing the gut is one of the fastest ways to restore your overall well-being. Mindful eating, how you eat, matters too. It's not just what you eat, it's how you eat. Rushed meals, eating while distracted, or eating in a stressed state shuts down digestion. Your body can't fully absorb nutrients when it's in fight or flight mode. Slow down, chew your food, savor each bite, feel gratitude for your meal. These simple habits calm your nervous system and allow your body to digest and absorb nutrients effectively. Eating with awareness also helps you recognize when you're full, reduces overeating, and reconnects you to your body's signals. Food. As a daily ritual of self-respect, preparing food for yourself, real healing food, is one of the most powerful acts of self-care. It says, I am worth the time. I am worth the effort. I am here to thrive. Instead of seeing healthy eating as a restriction, see it as a return to your natural state, vibrant, balanced, and clear. Cook at home more often. Grow a few herbs or vegetables. Learn about seasonal eating. Explore the flavors of natural food without heavy sauces or additives. Let your kitchen be a place of creativity, not control. Practical shifts for lifelong health. You don't need to change everything overnight. Start small. Swap soda for water. Replace packaged snacks with fruit or nuts. Cook one more meal at home each week. Add one extra serving of vegetables to your day. Let food become a friend, not a battleground. Over time, these small changes create lasting transformation, not just in your body, but in how you live and how you feel. You are what you absorb. The food you eat becomes your cells, your hormones, your energy. It becomes your skin, your brain, your future. When you eat with intention, you fuel not just your body, but your potential. You support a life that is not only longer, but richer in every sense, more focused, more joyful, more resilient. You don't need a complicated plan. You need consistency, simplicity, and care. Let food become your medicine. Let nourishment become your daily ritual. And let every meal remind you you are choosing life. Chapter 15. Breath is life, unlocking the science and soul of conscious breathing. Before we ever speak, move, eat, or even open our eyes, we breathe. Breath is the first and most constant act of life. It arrives the moment we're born and stays with us until our very last moment. Yet for something so vital, we give it so little attention. We breathe thousands of times a day without thinking. But the way we breathe, how deep, how slow, how conscious, has a profound effect on our physical health, mental clarity, emotional balance, and overall longevity. Your breath is not just automatic, it is transformational. It is one of the few bodily functions you can consciously control, and in doing so, you can shift your entire internal state. You can calm anxiety, reduce pain, improve focus, boost energy, and regulate your nervous system, all through the simple act of breathing. This chapter is about returning to the breath, not just as a biological function, but as a sacred tool for healing, balance, and awareness. The science behind the breath. Breath connects directly to your nervous system. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which signals the body to relax, recover, and restore. This lowers your heart rate, reduces cortisol levels, improves digestion, and shifts you out of fight or flight mode. On the other hand, shallow, rapid breathing triggers the sympathetic nervous system, keeping you in a state of alertness and stress, even when there's no real danger. Most people today breathe from the chest, not the diaphragm. This creates a state of low-grade stress throughout the day, disrupting everything from sleep to focus, digestion to blood pressure. Correcting your breathing can feel like pressing a reset button for your entire body and mind. Breath as a bridge between mind and body. One of the most beautiful aspects of breath is that it acts as a bridge, connecting your thoughts with your body, your inner world with your outer experience. When you become conscious of your breath, you become conscious of the present moment. You slow down, you ground yourself. You return from scattered thoughts, future worries, or past regrets into now. This is why breath is a foundational practice in meditation, yoga, and almost every ancient healing system. It stills the mind, settles the heart, and opens the space for healing. Whether you're overwhelmed, unfocused, angry, anxious, or simply tired, your breath can lead you back to balance. The breath and longevity, breathing deeply, and slowly increases oxygen delivery to your cells, supports detoxification, and improves cardiovascular health. Ancient yogis believed that your lifespan was not measured in years, but in breaths, and that slowing your breath meant extending your life. Science is catching up. Studies have shown that practices like diaphragmatic breathing, alternate nostril breathing, and coherent breathing, 6 breaths per minute, can reduce inflammation, balance hormones, lower blood pressure, and even improve gene expression. In other words, learning to breathe well is one of the most powerful, low-cost, and accessible longevity tools available to you. Breath awareness, returning to your natural rhythm, you don't need complex techniques to begin. The first and most important step is awareness. Take a moment now and simply notice your breath. Are you breathing into your chest or your belly? Is your breath short and fast or slow and deep? Is there tension in your shoulders, jaw, or stomach? Begin to soften. Inhale through your nose. Let your belly rise. Exhale gently through your mouth or nose. Let your shoulders drop. Continue like this for a few minutes. Even this simple practice can shift your state from chaos to calm, from stress to stillness. Breathing is a daily practice. Just as you care for your body through food and movement, you can care for your mind and nervous system through breath. You can begin each day with 2 to 3 minutes of deep breathing to set your rhythm. Pause between tasks to reset your energy. Use breath to prepare for sleep, to calm yourself before a meeting, or to center yourself before a meal. Over time, conscious breathing becomes second nature, a background habit that supports all the others. It creates a foundation of steadiness that you carry with you everywhere you go. The soul of breath. More than science, beyond its biological power, breath carries a spiritual quality. It is sacred. In many traditions, breath is seen as life force, prana, chi, ruach, spiritus. It is what animates matter. It is what connects us to the divine, to one another, and to ourselves. Each breath is a reminder that you are alive, here, now. Breathing consciously can become a form of prayer, of gratitude, of listening to the still voice within. It helps you remember what matters. It helps you return, not just to calm, but to clarity, to purpose, to presence. Your breath is always with you. You don't need anything outside of yourself to begin this transformation. You carry it with you, always. In moments of fear, return to the breath. In moments of chaos, return to the breath. In moments of doubt, fatigue, or noise, return to the breath. It is your anchor, your rhythm, your power, your peace. Breath is life. And the more consciously you live it, the more alive you become. Chapter 16, Aging Gracefully. How to grow older with strength, dignity, and joy. Aging is often seen as something to resist. Society celebrates youth, worships beauty, and markets anti-aging solutions at every turn. Wrinkles are airbrushed, gray hairs are dyed, and slowing down is considered a weakness. But aging isn't something to fear or fight. It's something to honor. To age gracefully is not to deny time, but to walk with it, with strength, with dignity, and with joy. It's the art of becoming more whole, not less. Of gaining wisdom, not just counting years. Of deepening your connection to life, even as the body changes. True longevity is not simply about extending your years. It's about making those years richer, lighter, and more meaningful. This chapter is a celebration of aging, not as decline, but as evolution. Redefining aging, from decline to empowerment aging, does not have to mean disease, dependency, or despair. Many of the symptoms we associate with getting older, fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, chronic pain, are often the result of lifestyle habits, not age itself. Science shows us that with mindful choices, you can remain strong, sharp, active, and inspired well into your later years. Your muscles can grow, your mind can learn, your spirit can flourish. The key is not in resisting age, but in embracing it with intention. Aging is a natural process, but how you age is largely up to you. Strength is ageless. One of the greatest myths of aging is that it's normal to become weak and fragile. But research proves that strength can be built and maintained at any age. Resistance training, weight-bearing exercises, and functional movement not only preserve muscle mass, but also strengthen bones, improve balance, and reduce the risk of falls. Strength protects independence, enhances mobility, and keeps your energy high. You don't need to be a bodybuilder. Simple bodyweight exercises, resistance bands, yoga, or light weights, done consistently can transform your body's capacity and resilience. It's never too late to start, and it's always too soon to stop. The mind that stays curious stays young. Just as your body can stay strong, your brain can stay sharp with the right stimulation. Lifelong learning, reading, writing, solving puzzles, engaging in meaningful conversations, or learning a new skill keeps neural pathways active. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire and grow, is not just for the young. It continues throughout life. Meditation, mindfulness, and quality sleep also protect brain health by reducing stress and inflammation. Curiosity keeps the brain alive. Stay interested, and you'll stay interesting to yourself and to life. Dignity in self-care and acceptance aging. Gracefully means taking care of yourself without obsessing over perfection. It's about honoring your body as it is, strong in some ways, softer in others. Accepting your changing face, your evolving pace, your growing wisdom is a form of inner peace. It's letting go of the fight against time and choosing instead to walk in partnership with it. Self-care becomes a way of showing love to your future self, nourishing your body, moving it with kindness, tending to your sleep, managing stress. These are not acts of vanity. They're acts of dignity. They say, I value this vessel. I respect this life. Joy is the timeless elixir. What you nourish emotionally matters just as much as what you nourish physically. Joy is not a luxury. It's a life-giving nutrient. Laugh, dance, sing, connect, celebrate. Spend time in nature. Share your story. Give to others. Enjoy your food. Embrace beauty. Cultivate gratitude. These experiences flood your body with healing hormones, reduce stress, and increase lifespan. A joyful heart shines brighter than smooth skin or a sculpted body. Joy is youth. Joy is lightness. Joy is medicine. No matter how many candles are on your cake, you're still allowed to play, to explore, to dream. Relationships that uplift and inspire. One of the greatest indicators of a long and fulfilling life is the quality of your relationships. As you grow older, surround yourself with people who inspire, support, and energize you. Let go of toxic ties. Invest in intergenerational friendships. Spend time with loved ones. Share wisdom. Listen deeply. Be present. Loneliness is one of the greatest threats to longevity. Connection, on the other hand, strengthens not just the heart, but the immune system and the spirit. You were never meant to age alone. Community is one of the great secrets of graceful aging. Purpose keeps you alive. Having a reason to get up in the morning is one of the strongest predictors of long life. It doesn't have to be grand. Purpose can be found in small routines, in creativity, in service, in learning, and mentoring others. You are still needed. Your story still matters. Your wisdom can still change lives. When you live with purpose, your energy shifts. Your cells respond. Your spirit awakens. You don't wither, you blossom. The beauty of becoming aging gracefully is not about staying the same. It's about becoming more fully yourself. It's the wrinkles earned through laughter, the silver hairs that shimmer with experience, the patience that comes with perspective, the soul that deepens as the years pass. Let go of who you were. Celebrate who you are. Step into who you are becoming. You are not fading. You are evolving. Honor the gift of time. Aging is a privilege denied to many. To grow older is to witness more, to learn more, to love more. Each year is a chapter. Each day is a gift. Treat your body with reverence. Keep your mind engaged. Let your heart remain open. Don't just add years to your life. Add life to your years. Aging with strength, dignity, and joy is not only possible, it is your birthright. So breathe deeply. Walk boldly. Laugh freely. You're not getting old. You're becoming whole. Chapter 17. Healing from within, the body's natural intelligence to repair and renew. You are not broken. You are brilliantly designed. The human body is not just a machine, it is a living, breathing, adapting, self-healing miracle. It has an innate intelligence that constantly scans for imbalance, fights off invaders, repairs damage, regenerates tissue, and strives, at every moment, to bring you back to balance. Even when you're not aware of it, your body is working for you. Cuts close. Bones knit. Inflammation rises and falls in response to threats. Cells die and are replaced. The immune system learns, remembers, and defends. Healing is not something you have to force, it's something you have to support. And when you remove what harms and provide what helps, your body does the rest. In this chapter, we explore how to reconnect with your body's natural healing ability, not just to recover from illness, but to build lifelong well-being and resilience. The body's language, symptoms as signals. We often treat symptoms as problems, something to be silenced, numbed, or ignored. But symptoms are your body's language. They are messengers. A headache may signal dehydration. Fatigue may be asking for rest. Inflammation may be pointing to imbalance. When you suppress the signal without addressing the root, you delay healing. When you listen with curiosity, you invite it. Healing begins by shifting your mindset. Your body is not attacking you. It's communicating with you. Sleep, the silent healer. One of the most powerful healing tools is also the most overlooked, deep, restorative sleep. During sleep, the brain detoxifies, muscles repair, hormones balance, and the immune system resets. Growth hormone surges, memory consolidates, inflammation reduces. Sleep is not rest, it's active regeneration. Chronic sleep deprivation weakens your ability to heal. It raises stress hormones, increases cravings, and lowers immunity. But just 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep consistently can transform your energy, focus, and mood, and reduce your risk of nearly every major disease. Prioritize sleep not as a luxury, but as a foundational pillar of healing. Hydration, flowing toward vitality. Your body is mostly water. Every cell, tissue, and organ depends on hydration to function properly. Water flushes toxins, regulates temperature, lubricates joints, aids digestion, and supports cellular repair. Even mild dehydration can trigger fatigue, headaches, and poor concentration. Chronic dehydration slows healing and stresses your system. Drinking clean, mineral-rich water throughout the day is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to support your body's natural intelligence. Nutrition that repairs, not depletes the food you eat, is the raw material for healing. Nutrients from whole foods provide the body with the tools it needs to regenerate tissue, support immunity, regulate inflammation, and energize repair systems. A diet rich in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, and amino acids builds the foundation for healing. Berries, leafy greens, fatty fish, turmeric, nuts, seeds, cruciferous vegetables, and fermented foods all support your body's healing pathways. On the other hand, processed foods, excess sugar, alcohol, and artificial additives weaken those pathways. They overload the system and contribute to oxidative stress and cellular damage. To heal from within, choose food that is alive, colorful, and close to the earth. The role of movement in repair movement isn't just for fitness, it's medicine. Gentle, intentional movement stimulates lymph flow, improves circulation, delivers oxygen to tissues, and removes waste from cells. Stretching, walking, yoga, tai chi, and light resistance training all support the healing process. Stillness is necessary for recovery, but stagnation is not. Even light daily movement helps the body maintain its rhythm and vitality. The key is to move in ways that energize rather than exhaust. Stress, the blocker of healing. Chronic stress is one of the greatest enemies of healing. It keeps the body in survival mode, redirecting energy away from long-term repair and into short-term defense. High cortisol levels weaken immunity, increase inflammation, disrupt digestion, and impair sleep. In this state, your body cannot fully heal. Practices like breathwork, meditation, time in nature, creative expression, and meaningful connection help shift you into a parasympathetic state, the calm, healing mode of the nervous system. Calm is not weakness. Calm is where healing happens. Emotions and the body, the missing link. Your emotional health is deeply tied to your physical health. Unprocessed emotions can manifest as tension, pain, or dis-ease in the body. Trauma, if unreleased, can live in the nervous system for years, quietly influencing your well-being. Healing from within includes allowing yourself to feel, express, and release emotions. Journaling, therapy, safe conversations, and mindfulness practices help clear emotional blockages and return the body to flow. The body holds what the mind avoids. When you listen gently, healing flows freely, trusting the intelligence within. There's an ancient intelligence inside you. It's the same intelligence that grew your body in the womb, that heals your skin after a cut, that restores balance without instruction. You don't have to micromanage every function. You just need to create the right conditions: safety, nourishment, rest, hydration, movement, calm. Trust that your body knows what to do. It always has. You are your best healer. Doctors, nutritionists, and therapies can support you. But the real healer is within: your cells, your breath, your habits, your choices, your mindset. You are not helpless. You are powerful. And you are more capable of healing than you've been told. So listen to your body. Give it time. Give it love. And most of all, trust its wisdom. Because healing isn't just possible, it's your nature. Chapter 18. Emotional boundaries, protecting your peace without guilt. You can eat the healthiest food, move your body daily, and sleep 8 hours a night. But if you constantly allow others to overstep your limits, drain your energy, or disrupt your emotional balance, your well-being will still suffer. Emotional health is not just about how you feel, it's about how you protect what you feel. Emotional boundaries are the invisible lines that define where you end and others begin. They are not walls to shut people out. They are filters to decide what is safe, supportive, and aligned with your peace. In a world that celebrates people-pleasing and overgiving, learning to set boundaries is a radical act of self-respect. It's how you say, "My peace matters. My energy is valuable. I am responsible for my emotional health." This chapter is your invitation to protect your peace, not with guilt, but with grace. Why boundaries matter for health and longevity. Chronic stress is a silent killer. And one of the most common sources of stress? Poor emotional boundaries. When you say yes to things you don't mean, tolerate toxic relationships, overextend yourself, or suppress your emotions to keep the peace, you pay the price. That price can show up as fatigue, anxiety, burnout, resentment, low self-worth, and eventually physical illness. Over time, the nervous system becomes overloaded. The immune system weakens. Inflammation rises. Your body internalizes the emotional chaos you absorb. Boundaries aren't just good for your heart. They protect your whole system. Guilt is not a sign you're wrong. It's a sign you're growing. Many people avoid setting boundaries because they fear guilt. They worry about disappointing others, being seen as selfish, or losing relationships. But here's the truth. Guilt is not always a sign of wrongdoing. Sometimes it's a sign you're doing something new, something necessary, something right. Guilt is the discomfort of shifting out of old roles like the helper, the fixer, or the one who always sacrifices. You can acknowledge that guilt, but you don't have to obey it. You can be kind and still say no. You can love people and still choose yourself. You can be generous and still have limits. Recognizing the need for stronger boundaries. When you feel emotionally drained after interacting with certain people, say yes when you mean no, or avoid conflict by suppressing your true feelings. Your body is telling you it's time to reclaim your peace. If you find yourself constantly feeling responsible for how others feel, or frequently over-explaining and justifying your decisions, you may be stretching yourself too thin. These aren't signs of failure. They're signals that you're overdue for stronger emotional boundaries. You teach others how to treat you every time you accept behavior that crosses your boundaries. You send a silent message, "This is okay." But the reverse is also true. Every time you speak up, say no, or walk away from what drains you, you teach the world how to respect you. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They're about clarity, about showing up in the world with self-respect and expecting the same in return. When you enforce your boundaries calmly and consistently, healthy relationships grow stronger, and toxic ones naturally fall away. Setting boundaries with confidence and kindness start by getting clear on what you need. Before you can express a boundary, you have to know what your limits are. Reflect on what drains you and what brings you peace. That clarity is the foundation of all healthy boundaries. When it comes time to speak, use calm and direct language. You don't need to explain excessively or justify your needs. A simple "that doesn't work for me," or "I need some space," is enough. It's also important to hold firm without over-explaining. Boundaries are weakened when they're over-negotiated. Confidence is often felt through tone, not volume. Expect some pushback, especially from people who benefited from your lack of boundaries in the past. But don't let resistance stop you. Let your consistency, not your defensiveness, communicate your truth. And as you build your own boundaries, honor those of others too. Respecting the emotional space of those around you reinforces the culture of mutual care and understanding. Boundaries create space for healing and joy. When you set emotional boundaries, you're not pushing people away, you're inviting authenticity. You're creating relationships built on mutual respect, not obligation. You're making room for real connection, real rest, and real joy. Boundaries help you become more generous because you're giving from overflow, not depletion. They help you become more loving because you're no longer carrying resentment. They help you become more peaceful because you've cleared away what steals your calm. Protecting your peace is an act of love. You were not meant to be everything for everyone. You were not meant to be responsible for how others feel, fix their problems, or sacrifice your needs to keep the peace. You were meant to live with a light spirit and an open heart, and that begins with setting limits on what you carry. Protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's wise. It's loving. It's necessary. So give yourself permission to say no, to step back, to take space. Your emotional well-being is sacred. Guard it. Honor it. Live it. Chapter 19. Living lightly. Minimalism for mental and emotional clarity. In a world overflowing with noise, stuff, speed, and stimulation, the greatest luxury isn't having more. It's needing less. Minimalism is not about owning nothing. It's about making space for what truly matters. It's a way of living that strips away the non-essentials so you can clearly see, feel, and honor what is essential: your peace, your purpose, your health, your joy. When your outer world is cluttered, your inner world often follows. Physical mess becomes mental fog. Emotional baggage piles up. Decision fatigue creeps in. You start your day overwhelmed, pulled in too many directions, unsure of where your energy is best spent. Living lightly invites you to simplify, not to limit your life, but to liberate it. Why less can be so much more. Most people carry far more than they need: possessions, obligations, guilt, fears, unresolved emotions, outdated goals, unnecessary commitments. All of it adds weight. All of it clouds clarity. The truth is, your well-being depends not just on what you add to your life, but also on what you're willing to release. When you simplify your space, schedule, and self-talk, you reclaim the freedom to think clearly, feel deeply, and move purposefully. Minimalism is not deprivation, it's precision. It's aligning your life with your deepest values, rather than accumulating what distracts from them. Declutter your physical space to clear your mind. Your environment shapes your energy. A cluttered home often leads to a cluttered mind. Unfinished tasks, overfilled drawers, and chaotic spaces create a sense of constant pressure, even when you're not conscious of it. Start small. Clear one drawer. Donate unused clothes. Create a clean, quiet corner for reading, meditation, or reflection. Keep only what adds meaning or function to your life. Each object you release creates a moment of lightness. Each decision to let go is a message to yourself: I value clarity. I choose peace. The goal is not emptiness. It's intentionality. Simplify your schedule to breathe again. In today's hustle culture, being busy is worn like a badge of honor. But busyness isn't the same as purpose. A full calendar can hide an empty life. Reclaiming your time is one of the most radical steps you can take toward health and longevity. Begin by asking, does this commitment energize or exhaust me? Does it reflect my priorities or someone else's? Protect your time like you protect your health, because the two are inseparable. Rest, stillness, white space, and unscheduled moments aren't laziness, they're lifelines. When your schedule aligns with your values, every moment feels more meaningful. Letting go of mental and emotional clutter. Minimalism isn't just about the external. It's also about the internal. We carry limiting beliefs, perfectionism, comparison, regrets, fears, and outdated identities. These thoughts weigh far more than furniture or to-do lists. To live lightly, examine your internal landscape. What stories are you telling yourself that no longer serve you? What pressure are you putting on yourself that stems from insecurity, not authenticity? Practice mental minimalism by letting go of what you cannot control, forgiving what has already passed, and softening your grip on what doesn't matter in the long run. Living lightly means releasing what's heavy, even if you've carried it for years. Digital minimalism, reclaiming focus in a noisy world. Your attention is being pulled in 1,000 directions: notifications, news, emails, ads, endless scrolling. Every click, every ping, every new tab fragments your mental clarity. Digital minimalism is about being intentional with technology. Turn off non-essential notifications. Set screen-free hours. Limit your daily social media exposure. Unsubscribe from emails that no longer serve you. Curate what enters your mind like you would curate what enters your home. Less digital noise means more time to think, feel, reflect, create, and connect. Minimalism gives you back your mind, the emotional benefits of a lighter life. As you strip away what no longer serves you, you may notice something beautiful emerge: space. Space for deeper relationships, for creativity, for presence, for joy. You'll notice you're no longer chasing, comparing, or trying to prove your worth through what you own or how much you do. Instead, you begin to define success by how you feel, not how you perform. You start to feel lighter, not just in your space, but in your soul. Minimalism creates emotional clarity. It reminds you that you are enough, even without the excess, that you can breathe deeply, move gently, and be fully alive in the simplicity of the present moment. Living lightly is living aligned. When you choose to live with less, you make room for more of what matters: more peace, more purpose, more clarity, more well-being, more life. Minimalism is not about owning fewer things. It's about owning your life, your time, your energy, your choices, your joy. Let it be easy. Let it be light. Let it be aligned with who you really are, because the path to well-being and longevity isn't always about adding more. Sometimes the most powerful step forward is letting go. Chapter 20. Financial Wellness: How Money Stress Affects Health and How to Take Control. Health isn't just about food, fitness, or sleep. It's also about peace of mind. And few things disturb that peace more consistently than money stress. Worrying about bills, debts, rising costs, or the uncertainty of the future creates chronic tension in the mind and body. Financial stress triggers the same survival responses as physical threats: increased heart rate, shallow breathing, poor sleep, irritability, and anxiety. Over time, this can lead to high blood pressure, weakened immunity, digestive issues, depression, and burnout. In short, your financial well-being and physical well-being are deeply connected. One cannot flourish while the other suffers. This chapter is not about becoming rich. It's about becoming resilient, calming the chaos, regaining control, and building a healthy relationship with money that supports your longevity, freedom, and peace of mind. The hidden cost of money. Stress. Most people underestimate just how much financial anxiety can affect their bodies. When you're constantly worried about money, whether it's paying rent, affording groceries, or covering unexpected costs, your body enters a state of chronic low-grade stress. This stress releases cortisol and adrenaline, hormones designed for short bursts of survival, not long-term exposure. When these stress hormones stay elevated, they interfere with digestion, sleep cycles, immune function, decision-making, and even your ability to feel joy or connection. Over time, money stress becomes a silent saboteur of health. And it doesn't just affect the poor. Many high-income earners feel the same pressure because they lack systems, clarity, or emotional balance around money. Money mindset: the first step toward wellness, financial wellness, begins with how you think and feel about money. If you were raised in an environment where money was scarce, mismanaged, or avoided in conversation. You may have inherited beliefs such as, "I'm just not good with money," or "there's never enough." You may even associate financial desire with guilt, selfishness, or shame. These hidden beliefs quietly influence how you handle your finances today. But it's important to remember that money is not the enemy. It's a tool. It's neutral, and it becomes powerful when directed by purpose and clarity. Rewriting your money mindset starts with one key truth. You deserve to feel safe, capable, and confident with your finances. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Clarity brings calm. One of the greatest sources of financial stress is not knowing where you stand. The fear of checking your bank account or avoiding a credit card statement can create a cycle of anxiety and avoidance. Yet, clarity is often the cure. When you gather the facts, your income, your spending, your debts, and your savings, you disarm the unknown, and in doing so, you begin to take back control. This process doesn't have to be complex. Start with a simple overview, track your income and expenses, write down what you owe, and note your current savings, even if it's small. From here, you can build a budget that reflects your actual lifestyle, not an unrealistic ideal. Information brings power, but more importantly, it brings peace. Simple habits that build financial confidence. Financial wellness is not about mastering spreadsheets or tracking every penny. It's about practicing a few simple, intentional habits consistently. Start by prioritizing savings. Even a small monthly amount creates a sense of security and momentum. Automate what you can, such as paying bills or transferring money to savings, so your good decisions happen by default. When it comes to daily spending, use cash or a debit card to remain grounded in real-time accountability. Create an emergency fund over time. Even a small cushion eases anxiety. As your income increases, avoid the trap of lifestyle inflation. Instead of spending more to appear successful, channel that growth into future freedom. These aren't restrictions. They're anchors, steady, reassuring routines that give you control. Health investments that save in the long run. It's easy to view wellness-related spending, like buying quality food, a gym membership, or a massage, as luxuries. But in truth, these are investments. What you put into your health today can reduce future medical bills, prevent chronic disease, and keep you mentally and physically strong for decades to come. Don't be afraid to prioritize your well-being. Wellness is not a luxury, it's a strategy. Think of your spending through the lens of longevity. Is this expense draining you or sustaining you? True wealth includes vitality, energy, and the ability to enjoy the life you're building. Financial freedom looks different for everyone. It's easy to compare your financial journey with others, but comparison is the thief of clarity. What matters most is alignment, where your money supports your personal values and goals. For one person, financial wellness may mean becoming debt-free. For another, it's the ability to travel freely, support a family, or take a sabbatical. Others may seek the security of savings or the joy of giving generously. There's no one definition of financial freedom. The key is to ask yourself, does my financial life reflect what I truly value? If not, what small steps can I take today to realign with purpose? The nervous system loves safety. Financial health ultimately contributes to one of your body's deepest needs, a sense of safety. When you have financial stability, or even just a plan in motion, your nervous system can relax. You sleep better. You think more clearly. You become more patient in relationships and more present in daily life. Financial stress often creates a fog of fear, but financial clarity, even in imperfect circumstances, allows for calm, logic, and hope. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about knowing you're actively participating in your own future. You deserve a healthy relationship with money. You don't need to be wealthy to be well. You need clarity. You need courage. You need the willingness to engage with your finances instead of fearing them. Start small. Start now. With every choice, remind yourself, I am worthy of financial peace. I am capable of financial change. and I am allowed to create a life that supports my well-being, inside and out. When your relationship with money becomes grounded in awareness, compassion, and responsibility, it stops being a source of fear and becomes a foundation for freedom. Chapter 20. 1. Purpose over pressure. Redefining success on your own terms. In today's fast-paced world, the pressure to succeed feels almost inescapable. From early childhood, many of us are taught to chase goals defined by others, titles, trophies, status, or wealth, often without pausing to ask whether those pursuits bring us real fulfillment. As we scroll through social media, comparing our lives to filtered moments of others, it becomes easy to feel like we're constantly behind, not doing enough, or not being enough. But here's the truth. Real success has very little to do with external validation and everything to do with internal alignment. When your idea of success is rooted in pressure, you burn out. When it's rooted in purpose, you come alive. This chapter is an invitation to let go of society's version of success and instead build a version that nourishes your well-being, fulfills your spirit, and supports your longevity. Success should feel true, not heavy or hollow. It should energize, not exhaust. Pressure often disguises itself as ambition or excellence, urging us to push harder, do more, move faster, and climb higher. And while goal setting can be powerful, unchecked pressure disconnects us from ourselves. The body begins to suffer under this constant strain. Sleep becomes shallow. Joy fades. Energy is replaced by anxiety. Over time, the very success we chase begins to cost us our health, clarity, and peace of mind. Living under this pressure keeps the body in a state of chronic stress. The nervous system becomes hyperactive, digestion slows, immunity weakens, and emotional stability is lost. Eventually, we lose touch with what really matters because we've spent so long chasing what we thought we were supposed to want. But purpose changes everything. Purpose is your inner compass. It may not be loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's soft and intuitive. But when you live by it, your life begins to align. You stop chasing and start becoming. Fulfillment replaces comparison. You no longer measure yourself by society's scale, but by your own truth. Redefining success means shifting your attention from performance to meaning. It's not about abandoning goals. It's about choosing the ones that resonate with who you really are. When you live purposefully, your days have direction. Your choices feel aligned. The journey itself becomes a source of satisfaction, not just a means to an end. Success doesn't need to be flashy or celebrated by crowds. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's invisible. It might look like waking up without anxiety. It might mean spending your time in ways that reflect your core values. It could be the ability to rest without guilt, to say no to things that drain you, to parent consciously, to build a peaceful home, to grow old with intention, or to laugh more than you worry. When your definition of success comes from within, it liberates you. Purpose is also the key to sustainable motivation. Pressure wears you down. Purpose lifts you up. When you act from pressure, you burn fuel fast. When you act from purpose, your energy replenishes itself. You're no longer motivated by fear, comparison, or obligation. You're fueled by clarity, love, and desire to live well. In order to connect with your purpose, you need to slow down and tune in. The world is loud, but your inner voice is soft. Take time to walk in silence, journal your thoughts, or simply reflect. Ask yourself, what do I love? What values do I want my life to express? What kind of world do I want to help create? Purpose doesn't have to be tied to a career. It can be expressed in how you treat people, how you use your time, how you care for yourself, and how you show up each day. Sometimes purpose is found in parenting, creating, teaching, healing, building, or simply being a kind and grounded presence. As you grow, your definition of success will also evolve. The dreams of your past may no longer fit your present self, and that's okay. You have the right to update your vision, to let go of what no longer serves you, to shed old identities, outdated goals, and expectations that no longer feel true. Letting go is not quitting. It's refining. It's realigning. It's an act of courage. Because when you release what's heavy, you create space for what's healing. Purpose-driven living is not only more fulfilling, it's also better for your health. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, sleep better, and experience less stress and anxiety. Their minds are more focused, their bodies are more resilient, and their lives, regardless of wealth or fame, are rich in meaning. You don't need anyone's permission to choose a new definition of success. It doesn't have to be tied to metrics, milestones, or appearances. Let success mean feeling good in your body. Let it mean living in alignment with your values. Let it mean waking up with peace and going to bed with gratitude. Let it mean honesty, stillness, strength, and connection. You are not here to perform your life. You are here to live it. And when you let purpose guide you, not pressure, you don't just succeed, you thrive.